All right, it's too much going on today. It's too much, too much, too much. So, if you've seen any of my posts, you know that I actually originally recorded this episode yesterday, but I didn't have time, rather, I didn't have energy to edit it. And I'm like, okay, I'm finna get it up before noon, and then I'm still gonna count it as the Friday episode. And then I re listened to it and I didn't like the tone. And it's not to say that I can't ever be negative on these things because it's supposed to be like a journal thing. But also, I don't want it to just be an archive of crash outs, you know? Because I did that whole shit in text form a lot in my late teens and early 20s. And then a lot of that has been lost to time. Some of it isn't. And it's just, I don't find it productive. It's other ways to express the ups and downs of experience without just, you don't have to just make a shrine to feeling annoyed and shit. In case in point, a lot of the stuff that I was talking about last night was just me being annoyed at misogynoir and anti-blackness and like misogyny in general. But I think the root of a lot of my annoyance with things was just different types of misogyny. And I think I might still call this episode the Misogyny Cinematic Universe, the MCU, not talking about Marvel, because it is really so many different levels to this shit. You go in my wrestling fandoms, of course, you're experiencing just base level misogyny there because anytime a woman does XYZ, even if she has a male counterpart who's doing the same thing, just no. They don't know how to engage with it. And it's not to say don't criticize wrestlers who are being ass, but it's really pointed when the criticism is aimed at women and particularly black women and just non-white women who are like, just okay, so and so is a little mediocre. But then like the other person who's still mediocre or maybe not putting on matches the way that you want them to put on matches or whatever it is, you're just not giving grace. And I'm not going to say the man who people are who people, I'll give this example. See, I didn't even think I was going to start with wrestling, but I think I'm thinking because I want to try to finish this and have it rendering while I watch Halloween Havoc. Sidebar, but I don't know what kind of Peacock deal I have where it never wants to let me watch live sports on the fucking computer anymore. We have no issue doing it on the TV, and then I've watched live things on my phone, but my laptop, it's just I was watching the Halloween Havoc pre-show on my phone, and then I was like, well, I need my phone to be able to record this, so let's have it playing just idly on my laptop, and then when I'm done, then I can actually go and sit and watch it. But then I clicked out of it on my phone, and then on laptop it's pulling up will begin coverage shortly, as if I need to pay a separate subscription for it or something. The same thing was happening when I tried to watch basketball a couple weeks ago, because I was like, do I need some special add-on for that one? Is that different than the deal they have with WWE products and all that? It's all this. Why did we reinvent cable? Why did we reinvent this? Calvin Michaels, in one of his lives within the last few months, was talking about back in the day. He remembers his mom didn't want to pay for like pay-per-view TLC concert, I want to say. And then back when they used to do pay-per-view before like this era, it used to be that you could low-key like watch some of those locked channels because it would just be hidden behind a little bit of static and it would come in and out. Um, but just, yeah, I had kind of a tail end experience of that because obviously I'm like 8 years younger than him. But just this whole thing with paywalls, age gating, not age gating, just gates is reminding me of those cable days, those core cable days. Why are we reinventing this? I know I'm on a student discount, but it's student premium, god damn it. Let me watch my fucking wrestling. And y'all need to stop disrespecting like the black women that I love in wrestling, because why did I see people in Stevie Richards and James Romero's shit calling Mercedes Moné Sasha Banks and not talking about like Sasha Banks era. They're just saying that to disrespect her. Like, how did y'all figure out how to misgender people in professional wrestling or like dead name people? That shit's crazy. That's crazy. Um, like all these things will just be swirling in your head. Another one that's been swirling in my head is just the whole fuckery around this DoorDash DARVO thing, where there was that DoorDash, that young woman who's driving for DoorDash, unfortunately got flashed by somebody, and then she, just the whole fallout of how she's been dealing with it, trying to get help. People are not trying to engage with her in good faith. There's a whole bot campaign going on against her. And then, of course, there's just general misogyny levied against her because I'm not going to get into it. You should go watch Ofi Doki and watch iNabber's videos on them if you need to know. But something that I found out through Tumblr, somebody doing like a little article on Tumblr, was uh there's like this whole thing of digital blackface being implemented where people were generating AI videos of like fake black TikTokers who are like gaslighting and like arguing against I shouldn't say gaslighting, but like arguing against this young woman, saying like, no, you did this wrong, you harassed him, blah blah blah. And then people were like, yo, these are fake videos, and it's very interesting that you specifically chose to make fake videos of black people, so now we're in it for some reason. Like, you can't just leave whichever sector of black people who are actually harassing her to do it. You have to add to that, and then it just makes everybody look bad. So when I was thinking about that, I started reading this uh, big article, open access academic article about digital blackface, which I think I'll link at the end. That kind of just made me feel a little bit more, what's the word? It just gave me a sense of catharsis and also taught me to identify other arguments for why digital blackface is wrong that might get through to people who participate in it in different levels. Um, and this digital blackface article was linked by that person who made the AI DoorDash um, call out thing, you know. Um, if I sound shaky, it's because it's just too much stuff just riling me up. And I drink coffee. I don't know why I drink coffee. Probably because I knew I wanted to record this and I need to talk to my friend after this shit. Um, but it's all that. It's also like conversations around like, even like intra community misogyny and misogynoir. Like, if you're any kind of music fan, you've probably heard about like the Tyler the Creator versus his audience reckoning. Just, it's too much. It's too much. And then finally, like, I bit the dust, or I bit the dust, like I died. I bit the bullet, which means the same thing, I think. But you know what I mean? I finally caved and got TikTok. Like, I've had TikTok on and off. I remember I owned it for like a week in 2020, and then I deleted that account. And then I made a new one when I came up with my Radio Regine moniker, because I just figured I don't want anybody else to take this handle. So I'll keep this just in case. Let me get up and fix something in my house. But I decided, because so many things with regard to like career stuff and also just keeping up with certain pop culture shit, it just would behoove me to have an account, even if I don't sit on there all day and post stuff, because that kind of thing is not conducive for my ADHD. It's not. I already struggle enough trying to make sure I balance my screen time. But yeah, I got TikTok. I was looking up creators that I already know and appreciate from like YouTube shorts and stuff. So I'm on Sunn, the Harvard professor, the Harvard linguist, who I love him. He's just, oh my goodness. But it was some discussion he was talking about, and I'll spare you because it's a long story. But basically, it featured a marginalized white person misusing intersectionality framework, which is just, it's something that's been driving me nuts for like since the beginning of time. And I've just, So like it all ties in with all this stuff about just people just being racist in many different avenues. And you might be like, Nikki, get the fuck off your computer. And it's like, yeah, get the fuck off your computer, but this is also something that you deal with in real life. This is my real life. Like I remember I've gotten into it with people who get mad at me when I criticize certain uses of the N word in fiction. And they think that it's because I can't handle the N word, or like fiction's supposed to reflect real life. The N word is used in real life. Do you think I don't know that? The person who says it every other minute in these videos, you think I don't know that? I've been called the hard ER, in real life. I'm aware of it, but anyway, I'm straying from my point. It's just all these different things. And I had to say, like on Sunn's video, I commented something like, I just forever feel so bad for Kay Crenshaw because of how many people have bastardized her intersectionality framework while calling themselves pro-black progressives. And he hearted it, and I was like, oh my god, senpai noticed me moment. And he's like, yeah, like they can't even name who came up with it, but they need to take the word out their mouth, which is just like, it just gave me this sense of catharsis, much like that digital blackface article, which I still need to finish, but I'm almost done with it. And then maybe another day I'll do a proper dissection of what I got from it. But it's just nice to have like elders and people like that, who are like, no, you're not crazy. Or like, you know what I mean? Like the world is still anti-black. It doesn't mean we need to like roll over and like cry. We need to still fight, but no, it gets annoying after a while. Um, but yeah, I spent what, 12 minutes just rant. That's just what's been on my mind. But again, on a brighter note, like I said, Halloween Havoc is tonight. We pray that I can actually watch a feed of it while I'm on the phone with my friend. So I got to figure some shit out, whether I have it picture in picture while we're on the phone and then I'm just watching it, or if I just wait and then I watch the feed later. But I wanted to watch it live. Um, and like along those lines, uh my sister and I have really been like, WWE, more like we want NXT and indie. That's the mood, because if you know what I've discussed with my journey through wrestling fandom, my sister and other people in my family were the longtime fans, and I'm new this year. I've been into it for like, what, about 6 months now, 5 6 months. And um it was interesting because like earlier in the spring and summer, it was like I was taking an unofficial crash course in WWE and Western wrestling in general. And it's fun just trying to like watch stuff, learn how the beats and the acts of wrestling go, of a match go, and then just, learning what you like, you don't like, how things work. And then it's cool to be at a point where I feel like I know enough to know what I do and don't like on a general basis in some of these major styles of wrestling. So now it's time to actually go out and get properly obsessed with like, like start like following more modern storylines. And it's not to say that I'm abandoning my new generation and attitude era fangirling and ships and all this stuff. I'm still writing that gender bent freaking Bret Hart thing. So if you're that same kind of insane like me, then you can look at my misadventures on my side blog. But in general, my sister has been saying every week, we need to go to NXT. We got to go to NXT because it's cheaper. The main WWE tickets are just astronomical at this point. And also just the structure of it, the aesthetics and the personalities are way better. That's in terms of like the TKO WWE product. We also want to just find like an indie company or two out here in our area to just be going to. Um, just because it, like, when people say that wrestling is dead, it's really bizarre to me because I know I'm new, but there's so much out there that I could never watch everything in a lifetime. We have freaking CMLL down south below us, the stuff in Japan, Europe, all over the world. You could never watch everything. So we're just excited to, make this a lifetime journey. Um, what else did I want to discuss today? I think the last thing is like my birthday plans. If you know, I've probably mentioned it. I am a Halloween baby. Next week, I will be 29 years old, entering the last uh, year of my 20s. And I've been watching a lot of things just talking about entering your 30s with grace and trying to just remember that no, even if you like complete feel like you wasted all of your 20s or whatever, like it's not over. Because I don't feel like I wasted all of my 20s, but I also know that there's a lot of things that I like, mistakes I've made, and just things that really got me down that now I'm starting to see a path forward to healing through and just moving with more grace with the people in my life that I care about. And it's an up and down process, but it's really fun to be able to weather these difficulties and just come out stronger and just, keep fighting. Anyway, um, that's to say, like, my birthday plans, because I'm fucking broke right now, is gonna be uneventful. It's just gonna be like scary movies and tea. I thought I was gonna do makeup and post stuff, but I might just make art and post that because I don't, I have no idea where any of my makeup is because it's still, as I've mentioned before, we had that giant flood, and I don't know which things were actually boxed up properly during repairs and which things is like, no, you don't want to put that on your face because it has sawdust and mold in it, nigga. Like, so just we're gonna take it easy next week. But I know in the future, either for my 30th or for my golden birthday on my 31st, I want to do some kind of like girls' night out, or like maybe not even girls' night out because some of my guy friends and like other people might want to hang, but just like for the girls, just like a Halloween Horror Nights Universal thing or Fright Fest at Six Flags. I'm leaning more Halloween Horror Nights because I've been to Six Flags, not for Fright Fest, but like I've been to Six Flags, but I've never been to Universal and I've always wanted to go. So that's a future dream. That's a future dream. And finally, see, I even skipped on like the one thing I wanted to talk about, but I don't want to backtrack because the subject is over. Let's just move to my final piece because I want to have this rendering and have it up, hopefully, like before I go to bed, and just have that going in the background while watching my wrestling and chatting with my friend. I wanted to just make sure I'm staying consistent with this thing. Okay, I didn't put it up on Friday. This is me talking to me so that I don't feel like, oh my God, I messed up my project. It's about the consistency. And when you're an artist, when you have something that you know you want to do and it's not done, you just go crazy and it won't leave your mind until the shit is done. So I'm getting it done, and then it will be out there and it will be another piece of proof that I know how to start a project and see it through. So, lastly, the resource Rex I wanted to hit y'all with is that digital blackface article by T.M. Henning. It's open access. Oh my God, open access, my beloved. Why isn't everything open access? Come on now. Because the freaking authors of these journals and things, they don't even be getting paid for them. It's the institutions. Anyway, so that article, which I think would behoove anybody to read, whether or not you think you're like up to snuff, quote unquote, with academic uh, text, she breaks it down really, really well. It's really good. Um, and then the other thing was a cathartic comedy show that just combated all of like the misogynoir and the racism and all this shit all over social media. Chappelle Lacey's Three Dads, Two Moms 30-minute comedy special. Just, it's everything. It's everything. Um, yeah, I will see y'all in the next one.